Hey, what's up, everybody? Ryan Slocum here, joined by Ryan Ross. And Ryan, we have just gotten the official word. The WWE has been given the go-ahead. They are deemed an essential business. So we got grocery stores, we got pharmacies, and we got the WWE in Florida. That is an essential business. To me, it's no surprise at all. I think we're all just actually finding out about this because we knew they were supposed to tape 3 weeks worth of shows last Friday. They got to do all the tapings they did earlier. Obviously, they're running tonight. So this, I guess it's just the fact that it's official. People are kind of losing their minds about this right now. Just your thoughts. You're the one, you text me, you sent me the official word. What are your thoughts? What do you think? And especially with everything that's going on, people throwing each other around doesn't seem like the safest thing in the world with what we're dealing with right now.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. But, like you said, it's not a surprise. I had read something a few days ago that Vince McMahon was extremely distraught about the way the television shows were being presented since they were taping the matches, ahead of time, three at a time or however they were doing it. And he had said that basically we're contracted by these television companies to produce live television shows 3 hours every Monday, 2 hours every Wednesday, 2 hours every Friday. And that's what we're going to do. And to me, I mean, I sure you can make up arguments that they're being very safe, and I'm sure they are being very safe. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you can't help but see that story, and first thing you think of is they're putting almighty dollar in front of the safety of their employees and their contracted employees, which is the wrestlers.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. We've heard and I've seen articles about the measures they're taking, the precautions they're taking with everybody. We know with WrestleMania, they had guys that either pulled out or a guy like The Miz who showed up who wasn't feeling well. Hey, sorry, bro, you're off of WrestleMania now. So we know they are taking precautions in their biggest show of the year. I mean, they were supposed to have a triple threat tag team match, and it turned into a triple threat singles match.
And not to mention one of their main events, their
yes
challenger pulled out of the match because the way I understand it, he pulled himself out of the match because of his, history with leukemia and feeling like he was a little bit more at risk than maybe some of the other guys. So kudos to him, really.
Yeah, and who knows what they think about that. You hear differing opinions that they aren't too happy with Roman Reigns right now either. But, I mean, how do you blame that guy? So I don't know. It seems like everything's fine. But, again, it's one of those things that everyone, you don't show signs right away. You may be holding this and you don't know it, or it isn't showing yet. And it shows a day later, 3 days later, a week later. And I'm watching right now, Raw is on as we're taping this. The Viking Raiders are out there, who we have not seen in quite a while. Wonder why that is. The Viking Raiders are out there. They're doing their thing. You got guys rolling on each other for a half hour at a time because all these matches are going forever now. Yeah. So maybe you're not showing signs, symptoms, anything today, but you might have it. And then you go out into the real world again, and you're affecting everybody. I don't know,
well,
man.
And think about, all safety precautions and measures that you put in place ahead of time aside, these guys get out there on TV and they're doing their matches or they're doing their promos or whatever they're doing. They're in their element. They're not thinking about being safe. They're thinking about getting their character over and getting their match over.
Right.
And we've seen, in the case of AEW, we've seen MJF, spitting basically on Tony Schiavone during an interview. We've seen, I think, Britt Baker kissed somebody.
Well, this Monday or Wednesday, she got bloodied up. I mean, she was bleeding all over the place.
It's crazy.
And she's a doctor, right? I mean, Dr. Britt Baker. She should know better. And she's out here bragging and then cutting promos about the fact, and maybe I missed it. I don't know. I kind of blazed through AEW this week, and I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of it, but
were people up in arms about that? Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. And I know that the internet is in love with AEW right now, but they're still running shows too.
yeah.
Are they taking
Supposedly
as
they're
much
going
heat?
on hiatus soon, but
Right. How come? Where was the outrage about Britt Baker and then cutting promos in the back about her bloody face? I mean, if anybody should know better, yeah, she's a dentist. She's not like a doctor of coronavirus here, but
or thugonomics for that matter.
yeah, that either. Of course, no, she's definitely not that.
Was it?
Couldn't she
you
know better? Yeah, I don't know what you're doing there. And then again, the promo afterward, and the whole promo was about her face.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we promoting that right now? Shouldn't we? People are already kind of upset that you're even doing this, let alone when you have major bodily fluid flying all over the place. Like,
maybe that's the time to go to Vanguard 1 or something, you know?
Right.
I mean, damn.
That's the time for Jericho to cut the promo on the machine.
I tried to watch it, and watching wrestling without fans, it just I don't even know what the adjective or the analogy is. It's just it doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't flow. It's very hard to watch for me. I mean, and so that's just kind of where I come out on that. But yeah, it's a crazy time.
Even beyond the no one's there, it's just not good to begin with. I mean, there's nothing good on these shows. This show tonight, man, last Monday was god-awful. Tonight, from what I've seen, and that's why I didn't have a problem recording this early with you, because, dude, this sucks.
It's terrible, huh?
I mean, it's so bad, and it's people out here I don't care about and do not want to see, frankly, whatsoever. I have no interest in any of these people, and they are doing angles a little bit. I mean, you got Charlotte just came out and cut a promo. There's been a few others that have cut promos. Seth has cut. The Kabuki Warriors have cut 3 promos tonight. I don't need to hear her just screaming in Japanese anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's brutal, but I do understand, somebody tweeted, if they pull out in their contract, they have to be live however many weeks a year it is, 49 out of the 52 weeks a year. I think they get 1 taped show for the England show. I think they get Christmas and whatever it is. And here they are not going live. So I understand what they're doing. They've got money involved. They don't want to go bankrupt. They just lost the XFL, which is another thing we can talk about today. Turns out they did own a quarter of the company after they said that they had no involvement at all. Now it turns out WWE owned a quarter of the company. So that's a huge thing. Like, I get it, but my gosh, this is so bad. And I think they're turning more. Now, who knows? Maybe in 3 months, everybody will just start watching again. I don't know. But no one's watching now because it sucks. I mean, you just said it, and let's talk about it. You didn't even watch WrestleMania.
It's the product. It has nothing to do with what's going on so much. I had to kind of do a mea culpa. I did watch the first hour or so of the Raw after WrestleMania, because that's always like the big one. I was just curious how they were going to present it, because that's always like a crazy night that the fans basically take over. But it isn't always just about the fans. They do a lot of surprises, a lot of debuts, call-ups, whatever you want to say. I was interested in, and I found it kind of ironic that what's the lead announcer now that on Raw? Cole moved to SmackDown.
Tom Phillips.
Tom Phillips, yeah, the robot, as Wade Keller likes to call him. He talked about it being the most unpredictable night of the year in WWE or in sports entertainment, or however he phrased it. And then they went on to present a show that, at least from what I saw, was about as predictable and lame as you could get. And at the same time, it's like, and how could it not be? I mean, what are you going to present that's going to be so great? And even if you do, it's like, you don't get a reaction because there's no fans there.
Yes.
Fans drive this business more than probably any sport, and fans are hugely important in sports too, in live sports, as you know, as we both know, working it. But wrestling, I mean, you go all the way back to the 70s. I mean, if there's some big angle happening, there's a huge response from whatever venue they're performing it in, and it really kind of drives home the importance of that segment and the match, and it makes it historical in so many ways.
It's all fans. It's all fans. Everything they do is predicated on whatever reaction they're going to get. And I mean, you saw that and have seen that from day one of this no fan thing. The way promos are cut, and they started doing them differently, and they did a really good job the night before WrestleMania, especially on Raw, with the promos that they cut. But you see people walking out. Even there are still people who are walking down the aisle and looking and doing things and looking for a crowd reaction.
Posing on the turnbuckle and the whole 9 yards.
But I mean,
it's crazy.
Yeah, there's some though that are acting like they're gonna yell at a fan while they're walking down to the ring, and like, dude, no one's there. What are you doing? And it's just ridiculous. And some of the promos with the pausing, well, they make a statement and they pause so the crowd can react. Or like, dude, no, just talk, man. There's no one there to react anymore.
Talk like it's a backstage promo, like old school, And I don't know why they didn't do more of that. And maybe they're doing it now. You said they've kind of gotten a little bit better at adjusting to it. But to me, that was the easiest adjustment they could have made. Like, either do it backstage or do it in the ring, but do it with an interviewer. Have it set up, and don't have the guy standing in the middle of the ring talking to the fans that aren't there and carrying on, and then somebody comes out and stands on the stage and they bicker back and forth, and there's all this pausing, like you said. What are you pausing for?
Right.
Let me tell you what you're pausing for. You're probably being told to do that because you have to fill 3 hours of television.
Right. Well, they have people that don't know how to cut promos as it is. They don't sound good as it is. And then when you add in there's no crowd. Yeah. When you got people with the no crowd reaction at all, it sounds even worse somehow than it already did. But you nailed it. And I said that the first night on SmackDown. It's like, so people have been begging for them to break out of the mold as it is. Quit doing all this crap in the ring that it's just dudes standing around for however long, or cutting a 15-minute promo, 20-minute promo, whatever. Cues. Yeah, like, quit. Of all times that they could have finally done stuff out of the arena instead of just a car pulling up or whatever. Because they don't have to worry about the audience, people that paid $200 to sit on the floor and they're watching stuff on the Titantron. We don't have to worry about that now. Now you have a chance to leave the arena. Finally, go do something else. Go do a vignette on a guy. Do anything. Develop somebody's character a little bit. Do something. And they have done even more of just being in the arena than they've ever done before. And that's what they need to get away from. And that's something that AEW has done extremely well.
Yeah.
This past week, I thought it was great what they did. Numerous promos on next week's Moxley Hager matchup. The promos building that up. I'm like, thank you. Like, in the way they were edited too, it seemed like it was a big boxing fight. If it felt like you were watching 24/7 on HBO and Mayweather was about to fight or something. It had finally the sports feel, which they told us we were going to get. It felt like that. Why is WWE not doing more of that? No, instead, we're getting the same exact cookie-cutter Raw show that we have gotten forever. And you can do whatever you want now.
Right.
What are you doing? Shoot something in the bathroom. Shoot something anywhere. I don't care where you do it at.
Well,
Why
and
aren't you
it
doing
allows you, it affords you the opportunity to have more guys at home and less of them in
Yes,
the performance center.
right.
You know, you can send a camera crew out to somebody's house, shoot some vignettes. Yeah, like you said, do some different things in different places, keep everybody spread out, limit the amount of people. I mean, it seems like it's common sense to me. It seems like it's common sense to you.
You could
Fitz is
do
just so stubborn, man. He just wants to keep doing the status quo.
yeah, and it can be somewhere else in the performance center. We don't know what that place looks like. It can be anywhere there. You know, you are not developing anybody. This Austin Theory shows up. I have no clue who this guy. I don't watch NXT. Sorry. I don't know who this guy is. I've heard of him, but he has a match on Raw the week before WrestleMania. Then he's on WrestleMania. Then tonight, they're like, oh, yeah, he's in the Money in the Bank qualifying. How did this guy get in the Money in the Bank qualifying? He just showed up a week ago, and he's already fought at WrestleMania. Now he's in the money. Can I get an interview with him, please? Could someone stick a mic in his face? Hey, dummy, why are you here and not on NXT? I don't know who you are. You have 3 hours of nothing, and you can't give me 2 minutes to develop this guy? 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like,
You could
I don't
shoot some
know
stuff.
who you are.
Right.
I
You
don't
could shoot
care
some
about
stuff with
you.
guys like him. And I'm assuming that they got multiple small studios in that facility. You could shoot so many different vignettes with him and guys like him and fill up TV time and not have, 2 guys, 4 guys, whatever it is in the ring, sweating on each other, running into each other.
No one wants to see an empty arena match as it is. No one wants to see that, let alone with a guy I don't even know his name. Who are you? Why do I want to watch this? Like, there are other things on TV, believe it or not. There actually are things on TV right now. And instead, a lot of these, it's not a lot, numerous guys, I don't know who you are. How about all of Zelina Vega's whole crew that is here now? They just keep coming and coming and coming. I don't know anything about them.
Right.
Can I get a 5-minute vignette on them or a sit down? Or
you barely knew anything about Andrade, and he was with her for 2 years.
That's because he doesn't even speak English. I mean, the guy barely speaks English. But
incredible wrestler.
The Kabukis don't speak English either, but they're doing things with them. It's like, can we get to know these people at all, please? Something. It's so bad. It's worse than it has been. And not because of the in-arena fights, because of stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, why would I watch this? Well, because it's on TV. Okay.
Right, now we're doing Seinfeld here? I mean, yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's a wrestling show about nothing. I'm sorry, a sports entertainment show about nothing.
I'm not, like, upset about it, like, offended by this. Like, a lot of people are offended by this, and I understand it. I'm just like, what? This is what I expected, and what I mean is them still going on. When everybody else shut down, I told everybody, I'm like, they're going to keep going. Like, they're not going to stop. As long as they're allowed to fight in the performance center, they're going to keep going. So I'm not really offended by this. I'm just kind of like indifferent about it. I don't know, man. How do you feel about it? Because there's a lot of people that are very offended.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not offended. I'm trying to pull up an article real quick. Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, I'll ad lib, I guess. But so the only thing that bothered me, and I don't even know if it bothers me as so much as I just want to know what the details are, and I hope they come to light in the next couple of days. But so it was deemed essential business by the Florida governor, and basically the mayor, I think it's the mayor of Orlando, basically said, yeah, it wasn't essential, and then after some discussions and some meetings, now it is. And that
Right.
was basically what he said. And it's like, okay, what what does that mean? I mean, I think we can all kind of fill in the blanks, but you don't want to cast any aspersions until you know. But at the same time, it's like, how do you not?
Well, that's what, going back to what we said at the top of the show. I said that from the word go. I'm like, okay, how much are they going to give Trump, or who's calling Trump, or who's doing whatever? Because they're boys. I mean, come on.
Right.
Is Vince calling Trump to call in a favor so they can keep going? I mean, that's what everybody thought, right? Like, I just don't understand how this, like, I'm not shocked by this. Like, I'm not even in the least bit surprised.
It's just to see the words WWE and essential together in the same sentence at a time like this. You think about here in Michigan, Ryan, they're not allowing landscapers who are working outdoors and never, I mean, you can easily employ two, three guys to a subdivision. I mean, we have them out here in our subdivision all the time, every summer. These guys are easily 12 to 20 feet apart almost all the time.
Right.
You can make that all the time, but they're not allowed to run their businesses, conduct their business right now. Yeah.
As a brand that has been woven into the fabric of society, WWE and its superstars bring families together and deliver a sense of hope, determination, and perseverance. Okay. I mean, I'm not surprised in the least. Like, I don't, this doesn't even really faze me. And I have a very close friend lose his dad today from the coronavirus. And this is like what I've been talking about and dealing with all day. And I don't know, maybe this makes me some sort of sick freak. Well, I'm just like immune to this. Nothing surprises me with Vince. Nothing surprises me with the WWE. I don't know. I'm just like, yeah, what did, I don't know. I said it before. It's like, what did you expect?
Right.
You knew he'd get around it somehow.
Carl Anthony Towns lost his mother today.
Right.
And all these people are losing their family members, and they're not even able to be there with them in their final moments.
It's unbelievable.
While they're sick, they can't. And so to me, that's the thing that people should be sort of thinking about, instead of whether or not a wrestling company, and whether they don't deem themselves a wrestling company. At the end of the day, they are a wrestling company, is able to run shows, and they're, deem themselves essential. So, I mean, I don't know. You're right though. It's not surprising. I'm not surprised. You're not surprised. I'm sure anybody that's been following them isn't surprised by this. I just want to know how it came to be, and I don't know that we'll ever actually get that information. But
right, no. Well, I found the quote here, and it's, after some conversation with the Florida governor, I think initially there was a review that was done. They were not initially deemed an essential business. With some conversation with the governor's office regarding the governor's order, they were deemed an essential business, so therefore they are allowed to remain open. That's it. And then the WWE statement, I read part of it before. We believe it is now more important than ever to provide people with a diversion from these hard times. That's not false.
You said in the beginning, Ryan, you can be a carrier and not even know it.
Right.
And there's been guys in the NBA that have tested positive and never shown any symptoms. Yeah. It just so happened that they were around other people that had tested positive that were sick. So everybody got tested. Yeah. Oh, you got the coronavirus. Oh, really? I feel fine.
Right.
2 weeks later, I still feel fine. A week later, I don't have it anymore. Well, that's weird.
Yeah, the guys that started it all, Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Like, Rudy felt a little, but he didn't get bad. And Donovan says he never felt anything the whole time. He had no idea. Like, if it weren't for Rudy, he probably would have never known that he had anything. I don't know. It's interesting times, man. It's real interesting times. I don't think the backlash here is going to do anything at all. The only question is how long before, and how can you not now? How can AEW not be deemed essential? You know,
They're in the same state.
It's the same. You're right. Like, so how?
I mean, Orlando and Jacksonville are like, what, an hour and a half apart?
I'm
2
not
hours,
sure.
maybe?
Jacksonville's way north, but
Well, yeah, that's
but
true.
still, it's Florida. Like, so are they essential? Like starting today, are they going to be live at Daly's Place from now on? Like, what are we doing? How can they not be?
That's a great question.
And how can what's like Ring of Honor or Impact? Are they going to like move to Florida now, and so they can do shows?
Yeah, let's get everybody all compacted into one place and start doing shows. That'll that'll solve it.
Well, right. And if you don't allow the other guys, if you don't allow your
Competitors, for
yeah, like
term.
how you're going to get sued.
Right.
Like, so I don't know, man. This whole
it's
thing,
going to be an interesting development. That was one factor I didn't even consider, to be honest with you. I had completely forgotten that AEW was based out of the same state.
Right.
You know? You always think of WWE's headquarters as being Stamford, Connecticut, and
well, which it is, but yeah.
It still is, but they have this performance center that they can actually run shows at, and they actually do run shows in terms of NXT, but normally in front of about 500 fans. I think the same fans every week, but still, whatever.
No different than the old days, brother.
Right on. Territory days. But, yeah, I mean, that is an interesting thing. I'm very interested to follow that now.
Like, you got to think that Tony Khan is on the phone, like, an hour and a half ago. Like, as soon as this officially came out.
Yeah. And I'm sure that his people and him specifically were following this. Find out what's going on. How are they proceeding with doing live shows again? Because we're right up the road. If they can do it, we can do it.
So I guess to put a bow on this, what would you or what? I mean, should they just? You're a guy who works for an NBA team. You work for the Detroit Pistons. Obviously, things are shut down. You're still working, but you're working from home. You're in the video department there. What should they do? And should they be like everybody else? Should it just be, hey, man, you're done until you're done? What do you think?
I mean, my first instinct is to say they should be shut down. But I don't know all the fine print in the television contracts. You said they're contracted to do 49 weeks of live television. You would think there would be some kind of provision in there for something like this.
Right.
They have Jerry McDivitt and his team are the top lawyers and, all in the entire country. So,
right.
I mean, to me, if there's a way you can do it without breaching your contracts and your television contracts, you do it, because your safety, the safety of your employees, your safety of your wrestlers is of paramount. But keep in mind too, these wrestlers aren't getting paid if they're not performing. So
right.
That's another thing. And you just mentioned a little bit ago that Vince McMahon and the WWE just saw one of their businesses that we just found out that was one of their businesses after all.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, but to me, I think if you look at all the professional sports leagues and the way this thing went down, you were going to go all the way back to March 11th when Rudy Gobert and that, tested positive, and that Oklahoma City, Utah game was stopped before it started. And An hour later, less than an hour later, the NBA suspended its season. Everything dominoed from there.
Yep.
The NCAA, which was going to do their tournament in front of no fans, decided to cancel their tournament. All the NCAA conference tournaments suspended. The NHL suspended their season. PGA Tour took a little bit longer, but eventually did the same, and so on and so forth. To me, even though it's a bit of a different entity, it's an athletic endeavor in front of live fans that doesn't work without the fans. I don't see any reason to put this on. I mean, I think the ratings have shown that people don't see this as
They don't see
an
it
escape.
because they're not watching.
They're not watching.
They just don't see it.
Yeah, I guess I could have stopped there, but
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of see where I was going with that.
Right.
They can tell people that they're putting this out there as therapy for people who are stuck at home or people who are sick or whatever. It's a sales pitch.
Sure. Well, and I don't know what their contracts look like. I don't know what anybody's contract looks like. But okay, if they're supposed to go live, they're supposed to do this number of live shows. Well, so is the NBA, right? So is the XFL. So
Major
is
League Baseball. And
they're all supposed to be on TV right now. Everybody's losing money, but I don't understand how they could get sued by Fox or sued by whoever, because no one's running anything right now. And if they did get sued, I'm sure they could then, countersue. Yeah. And say, dude.
Especially if somebody got sick by, performing.
Absolutely. Which, again, we know there have been people in that company that are sick or have been sick. So the TV, while I understand it, everybody's in the same boat. So how is that any different than the NBA or in Major League Baseball right now that's supposed to be playing? So the only other thing is, this is a publicly traded company. Their stock has gone down. I forget what it's at right now. It's at like $33. 6 months ago, it was at like $90, which was way overblown, but still it was up there because they signed that Fox deal.
Fox deal, right.
But if they just shut down for however long, who knows, until we get fans back, which we may not have fans for NFL games. I mean, we don't know. That has been discussed. The NCAA football season might not start on time. That is 5 months from now. If they don't have TV for 5 months, that stock is going to go. It's going to be gone. Yeah. So the only other thing is maybe they pleaded somehow, that they don't want the stock market to help keep the stock market from crashing. I don't know, man. That's the only thing I can think of, because, okay, ABC or whoever owns, ESPN and Disney. Disney obviously is the theme parks are closed right now, but ABC, CBS, NBC, they still have programming on. There is still TV. Right. So
they could still run original programming on their network. I mean,
right.
I mean, it's a subscription streaming service, so it's only going to a niche audience. But you could say that the Raw and SmackDown's going to a niche audience. It's a larger niche audience, but it's a niche audience nonetheless. So,
but WWE is a television company and it's a house show company, pretty much. That's what they do. That's who they are. They've already lost the shows. They got no fans. If you take your TV from them as well, the company's going to go under. Is it not? Like, they're going to go away, I would think. I don't know. I don't know. Do they still get their Fox money? Or do they get it suspended for 5 months because they're not putting on shows? I don't know how that works, but being a publicly traded company, me either. Somebody smarter than me can probably figure that out. But if they don't do television for 5 months, what happens to the stock? That's the only out that I could think, everybody thinks something shady is going on. Is that the only, real legit thing that they could have said, please, you're going to put us under. You're going to put our stock under if you don't let us do our thing. I don't know.
There's a lot of other companies out there, publicly traded or otherwise, that are saying, well, you know what, get in line. But you're absolutely right. I mean, that there's probably something to that. I'm sure there's something to that. But yeah, I mean, that's my stance. I'm not offended that they're still running shows. I'm not surprised. We talked about that a few times. I'm not interested. I wasn't interested in what they were doing when there were fans in the building. I mean, there was a few that, I was getting into the Ed Jordan thing. It's a shame they weren't able to finish that program the way it should have been finished, and I understand the match was pretty bad.
Brutal.
Who
40
knows if
minutes.
that would have been the same, if they had the same match, had there been fans, or how that would have played out. But there was a couple other things that piqued my interest. But for the most part, what they were doing wasn't really interesting me. And what they're doing now with no fans is really not interesting.
The shows have been dang near unwatchable anyway. You nailed it. They've been unwatchable for a while. Now you take out the fan element. You take out any sort of excitement whatsoever, and you're doing nothing but a backstage thing in front of a set and then the ring. Backstage, ring. Just like you've always done. You're adding nothing when you literally can do anything you freaking want to do now, and you're not doing it.
Here's a question that just popped into my head. I don't mean to interrupt you. Sorry about
that.
What if they could, instead of running wrestling, their normal shows, Raw and SmackDown every week, and NXT, what if they could negotiate with their television partners, in this case being NBC Universal, which owns USA, and Fox, and say, you know what, why don't we, during this interim, while we're down, while this thing is going on, and while the nation is healing, how about we start running original programming for you, and also take some of our network programming and run it instead in that block? Well, is that something that, would it really tank their ratings that much? And some of those documentaries on the network that people aren't seeing are really, really good.
Okay, yeah, you just came up with something that I wasn't even thinking about. I was going to say they have been showing, obviously ESPN showed the WrestleManias for a couple of weeks there, and then they have been showing old matches on Raw and SmackDown, which people are just turning the channel pretty much because they've already seen it. I didn't even think. Great point. How about you run that Edge documentary that is on the network, which is absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And I like they do a great job. Oh, dude,
I'm gonna check it out for sure.
Do it immediately. The next time you get, it's like an hour and a half.
Maybe I'll do it after I get off the line with you.
It is great, man, and a lot of that stuff. Their normal docs are good anyway, but they do a good job with those 24s, the Chronicles, the 365, whatever they call it, whatever they title those. They've done a great job with those. This Edge one, man, is awesome. It's so good. Drop that on the network, and maybe people would see that and go, holy crap, this is the kind of junk you're giving me for $10.90 or $9.99 a month. I'm in, baby. I'm telling you, man, I don't know anybody that doesn't think that's not like the one of, if not the best documentary they've ever seen. It's awesome.
Well, just any of the documentaries. My wife's not a huge wrestling fan. She'll watch it with me. She gets a kick out of some of the characters and whatnot, and some of the things that they can do in the ring. She's watched a few of those documentaries with me on the network, and she digs them. Yeah. So I think that's something that you could even market to people who either are lapsed fans or very fringe fans, especially in this kind of network or Netflix era that we're in, where people are just getting engrossed in all these docuseries and different things that they have. That could be right up their alley too.
Well, I think pushing them to the network. You're pushing them to give them money. Hey, give us $9.99. We have more stuff like this. That's a great idea.
You don't have to show the whole thing. You can make it like, hey, we're going to do a condensed version of the Edge documentary. And we're going to do a condensed version of whatever, the Stone Cold one. Or, they have so many. They're all, and a lot of their superstars have more than one.
Right.
And
well, dude,
we're just going to,
3 hours.
We're going to fill our time with you. And we're going to try and push people to check out our network so that we can sustain this until we're able to, run live shows again.
You got 3 hours. There's no reason, even the Edge one, that's like an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes, whatever it is. There's no reason you can't just drop that in there. Then you still have an hour that you can do your programming. You can maybe build an angle. You can build a dude.
Yeah, you can throw some matches from yesteryear in there. Don't show me the main event of WrestleMania 35. Show me the main event of WrestleMania 5. Sorry, I brought that up.
All right.
Or 3, or any of them, 6, or just kind of jump around, like go old school, go Attitude Era, just jump around a little bit, but mix those documentaries in. You can even mix some of the other corny stuff that I don't really get into, but maybe other people do, the ride-alongs and stuff like that.
Anything.
Oh,
You could put
totally
any of that stuff. Well, and the thing is, though, that is the stuff that builds the characters. That's what gets you to care about these guys. So maybe they do have a ride along, and whoever it is, name a guy. I don't know. I've only watched a few of those. Zack Ryder. Maybe Zack Ryder says something funny on one of these ride-alongs, and someone goes, I like that guy now. Anything, man. Instead of this, because they do a good job with those documentaries, with the regular programming. As much as we hated it, that Sting Triple H documentary is good.
Yeah,
it's very well done. I hate everything about it. I hate what they say, but it's awesome to hear it. It's awesome to hear what they were thinking, because I hated everything about that match. The NWO, DX, Sting's entrance, Sting losing, every single possible thing. But what were you thinking when you did that? What were you thinking when you had the NWO help Sting, his biggest enemy ever? What was going through your head? Well, they tell you on this. Thank you. I hate what you said, but thank you for finally telling me. Put that on there. It's only like 25 minutes long. Put that on there. That's one segment. Boom. I don't have to watch an Apollo Crews match for 3 segments now.
You know what that content proves? They can do some amazing storytelling over there when Vince doesn't have his hands on it.
Well, I mean, they can anyway. They can do it. It's just, I don't know why. Well, and Kevin Dunn. Is Kevin Dunn, does he do anything with these docs? I don't know. I don't know if it's a total different department or what.
I always under the impression he was more like the live show director. I mean, I don't know if he's involved in all that stuff too. I mean, they got a hell of a production department. I mean, they're top notch. There's no doubt about that.
Dude, their promos usually, as much as I didn't like it, production-wise, the intro to WrestleMania, the whole pirate thing, I know you didn't see it, was incredibly well done. Their promos,
I'll check it out eventually.
Their vignettes, their promos, their like opens, their pre-match packages are better than anybody. They're better than CBS. They're better than NBC.
And they have been for a long time. You think back to the
20 years.
Think back to the and you can search this on YouTube, the promos that went into the Hype in the Rock Austin match for WrestleMania 17.
The My Way things, yeah.
My Way, yeah. Just amazing. I mean, I still to this day catch myself going, and if I see it come up on another search, I'm like, oh, there's that My Way video. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah. Well, one that stands out in my mind to this day, and I've actually kind of not ripped it off, but based a video or two of my own off of the Stone Cold vignettes about Bret Hart leading into the Survivor Series match in 1996 when he's back and it's all black and white with the fence and the dog barking and everything. And he's ripping on Bret. Where'd you go, Bret? You quit. You're pink and black. You're a little girl. All this. Like, it was incredible. Like, we hadn't seen anything like that before. Yeah, they've been doing it for 25 years, man. And they do a great job. I don't know why they don't put that. That's you nailed it.
There's another one that you can put on and fill time is the Broken Skull sessions, man.
Sure.
Film some more of those. I mean, you could do those. I mean, they already sit 8 feet apart on that table. The ones that he's done so far with Brett and Taker and Goldberg and one other person that I can't remember.
My only problem with those is it's old guys. Like, if you want to build
mix it
dudes,
up. I'm saying he could do some with current guys.
Yeah, do it. And do it. And
you like you're saying, it's a good way for a guy like, what was the guy's name?
Austin Theory.
I keep wanting to say Austin Aries, but I know who that is.
Right. Different
Austin Theory or whoever. You could have them on there as long as they they speak good English. They could come on and talk about their story. What got you here? Why are you here? What's your goals? Stuff like that.
They can do it like this.
It a little bit.
You and I are doing it. Stone Cold can Zoom some guy.
There you go.
Anybody can. The dude can be sitting at home. He can be at the Performance Center. He can be anywhere. Why aren't you doing that? You got 3 freaking hours, dude. I don't need to see a 3-segment match between people I either don't care about, I know about and don't care about, or don't care about because I don't know about. I don't need to see it, man. Like, it's instant. What else can I be doing right now? It really is, man. Throw on. Have Stone Cold interview the kid. Hey, who the heck are you? I think you're the first person that ever made their debut and wrestled at WrestleMania the same week.
Right.
How are you this good? What's your story?
If you were to pop in a Raw from 2002 or 2003 and watch it and then watch today's Raw, to me, it's night and day. It's not even close. It's way better.
Totally agree. Dude, I'm not kidding you, man. And I've said this to other people. I'm not positive. I'd have to go back. I'm not positive the last year, 2 years, especially now, is not worse than 1994. Like, I'm not sure it isn't. The crap I watched last Monday, the crap I watched Friday, and the crap that was on tonight. I mean, this is Duke the Dumpster-esque, man. Like, it is. It's not good. It is.
TL Hopper.
Dude, it is. I never want to watch this crap again.
Who was the guy that had the big like thing where he couldn't even
Mantar.
get Mantar, yeah.
Mantar, yeah. Friar Ferguson, all those guys. I'm not sure.
Abe Knuckleball Schwartz.
Because think about it. As bad as all those dudes were, you did have Bret Hart.
Yeah.
You did have Shawn Michaels really starting. He was at IC level then, but Shawn and Diesel, let's say 94. Shawn and Diesel were tag champs, IC champs, whatever.
Razor Ramon.
You had Razor. You had those guys.
Mm-hmm.
You had Owen if you were an Owen fan.
And regardless of how you feel about him, a lot of people love Taker, and Taker was young and
sure. And in the that was Taker versus Taker. Summer of 94, let's just say. And then on the other channel, you had Hulk Hogan in WCW for the first time ever, fighting Ric Flair immediately. You had...
Which he should have done at WrestleMania 8. But
don't even get me going. You had all of that. You don't have... Who is even close to the level of just starting to become a good, real big-name dude, Shawn Michaels, in the summer of 94? You don't have anybody at that level right now. Not even close. Nobody.
No, absolutely not. I could sit here and think and give you some dead air time, but I'm not going to waste your time. Right. There's nobody. Nobody at that level.
You don't.
No one near that level.
And is the wrestling better? Yeah, the wrestling's better. But, I mean, at least then you had stars. You had Bret, you had Shawn, you had Diesel, Undertaker. Dude, those guys aren't here now. I mean,
yeah, and on WCW when Hogan went there, they didn't have Savage, they didn't have Hall and Nash, but they did have Ric Flair, who was still having really good matches. They had Sting, they had I'm drawing the blanks now, but the Giant was just starting, I think. But
yeah, he came in 95.
Yep. Was it 95?
95, okay. Yeah.
But you're better remembering who came when.
And Macho came at the end of 94. I mean, dude, you had Hogan against Flair. The end. Like,
right.
That's all you. They don't have anything that's Hogan Flair nowadays. There is no one who could fight anyone right now that'd even be close. There's no one that's close to Diesel fighting Shawn Michaels in 1994 right now. And I know they fought at WrestleMania in 95. But there's nothing close.
Nope. Nada.
I don't know what they're going to do, man. I know they're going to keep wrestling. We found that out today. Thanks to the government.
They are. Way to bring it all back. I like it.
Yeah.
That's why you're the pro.
After after 3 hours, I figure it's time to reel
Have
it
fun
in.
chopping this thing up.
Reel the fish back in. Well, all right, my man. Appreciate it, buddy.
Problem anytime, brother.
All right, man. Take care, everybody. We'll see you.